YouTube, it's Tone back with another one for you. So this one here this is a PDF basically showing the regional filings for the UCC. If you don't know, UCC stands for Uniform Commercial Code. This is the code upon which all commerce is going to be governed. So essentially, since this whole world is a corporation, you're not really going to find anywhere that's not incorporated in the sense where there's business transactions taking place. So, in order to come up with a uniform code that would be recognized worldwide to eliminate any disputes in commerce, they developed what's called the Uniform Commercial Code. So this is to kill any discrepancies, I guess you could say, between any transactions that might occur in commerce. That is what this is for. So when we're talking about the UCC filings, essentially this is going to be the form of public notice which will be given to the entities that govern certain states. So usually we'll file these with the Secretary of State's office, which is the highest notary of every state, and so this will qualify as public notice to the fact that a contract exists. It doesn't necessarily make your contract a public contract, but it gives public notice of a contract, which could be a private trust or a private contract that might exist between two entities or two people, or two or more people, right? Usually it'll involve two or more people with any given contract. So the UCC filing will qualify as public notice of the fact that a contract is in existence. And then you'll use the description boxes in the fields for the UCC filing to describe the contract and any identifying numbers associated with it, the parties involved, some of the details of the contract. If you wish to divulge that information, you have an opportunity to do so on that particular filing there. So this PDF here shows you the regional state filing. So it kind of is broken down into regions throughout the United States of America geographical territory. So it'll kind of be, so here we have, well, like 10 some odd states that are broken up into what's called UCC filing regions. And so essentially, some of these states, if you're trying to make certain transactions in commerce, might act like they don't recognize your UCC filing because it's not necessarily in their particular region. So these here are kind of breaking down what the regions are. So, if you create like a private contract trust or something like that and you want it to be recognized in a certain state, you're going to want to make sure that you file that UCC public notice financing statement filing in one of these particular regions. Now, sometimes you're going to run into problems where they have an issue with, you as the live living individual contract with your estate, which is the all capital letter name, and which the names are similar, but they're in different font, right? So you'll notice that the entity that makes reference to you, the estate, will be in all capital letter names. That is the estate or the transmitting utility that's given to us from the state to be able to make transactions in commerce, because we exist in two different realms. Essentially, we need a conduit in order to bring our private credit into the public. So that's the purpose of the all capital letter name. That shit is not you. It just makes reference to you, and the name looks like yours, but it is not your name. Okay. So even the state ID, your driver's license, and all these things, they try to trick you into believing that that's you. Well, you couldn't hold you in your hand to present it to somebody else. So you know that that's a whole different entity. It's a whole different individual, and us essentially as the live living beings are the administrators for that estate or for that entity, because it is a dead entity that really can't execute any actions without the assistance of a live living individual, which would be us, the personal assistant to that particular entity, and then we can help, execute any actions that might need to be taken physically for that particular entity, right? So if you want to look at it like your monopoly piece that you use to move around the monopoly board, that's what your state ID would be. That's what your contract trust basically would serve as. It'll be like your monopoly piece that you use to move around the board, right? And so that's what we'll use it as. So basically, what we're going to do is if you live in a particular state or you were born in a particular state, when you create your UCC, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a UCC contract, but when you create your private trust contract and you want it to be recognized in a particular state, then you're going to want to pull it into one of these particular states. So here in Region 1, we have Washington State, Oregon, Nevada, California, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Alaska, Hawaii, and Arizona. Now, these here particular states are pooled into what's called Region 1. And here it says that state to file electronically would be Washington State, because some of these states do not offer you the ability to file online, or will give you a hard time to file it in the particular fashion in which we do file these, right? Because sometimes we use our uppercase name mixed with our upper and lowercase name, which would be in the correct English spelling, and those are two different entities. So when we create our contracts, when we contract with that particular estate, sometimes the format is not conducive to be able to execute the filing in that particular state based on how they have it set up. So you might have to use a different state in that region in order to get your filing done. So here it says the Washington State, you can file online for those particular states which we just mentioned, which are basically pulled into what's called Region 1. So so you can do that. And some of them you may have to mail it in and things like that too. So in order to get it done easily and quickly and get your filing number the same day, and you'll know that your filing is online and your public notice is already official immediately as soon as you pay that fee, and you get your UCC1 financing statement filing number. All right. So then in Region 2, we have Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska. And in Region 2, it says the state to file electronically is going to be Idaho State. And here it's got the website in order to be able to execute that filing online. And then, right, so when you get these files as well, you want, so after you create your contract, you want to file the UCC1 filing in the state of your birth, so your birth state, and then any state that you reside in, or state that you inhabit. And then you want to also file it in any region that you may plan on making property acquisitions, or you plan on conducting business in any other particular region that may be outside of the region that you filed it in. You might want to file it there as well in order to, to make sure that you're secure when you're executing your commercial transactions in that particular state. And so that's another thing that the UCC filing does, is that it secures you commercially and puts you in the position of the secured party. That's the point of secured party process, is to make sure that you're commercially secure. That's what it's talking about. So that's what secured party is about, that you're the commercially secured party, meaning that you have the superior primary lien holder over the estate, which is your all capital letter name. So you come first. That puts you in the administrator seat, that puts you in the driver's seat. So region number 3, we got Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, and the state to file there online would be Texas. And then you got the internet address right there as well. So then it says the alternate state to file electronically would be Kansas. as well right there. So then we got region 4, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. So these particular states are pulled into what's called Region 4, and the address to file here would be Wisconsin. Ohio is my personal favorite, to be honest with you, because you can fit a lot more information into the portal in Ohio. So I use that one a lot. And then Region 5, you have Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida. So these regions are pulled into what's called Region 5, and the state to file electronically is going to be Kentucky. Then Region 6, this is my region over here. We got Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, and Rhode Island. And and it doesn't say here at the bottom which region to file in, but you can obviously file in any of these regions here. Uh, a lot of people use New York. Uh, you can use Massachusetts, but you can use any of these regions. So when you file in any one of these particular regions, your instruments are going to have to be recognized, and it makes you a secured party in all of the areas surrounding this particular region. So that'll have you as a secured party in that particular region once you file in that UCC filing region. So these are one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about, but I think it is key, you know what I'm saying, to know what it is that you're doing, and just in case you run into any problems, you'll know why it probably is, because if your instruments gets rejected or something like that, they may not tell you the reason why, but it could possibly be the fact that it was not necessarily filed in the particular UCC filing region for them to be able to recognize your instrument. So these are some of the things that you should know, and these are definitely some keys right here. So you already know what it is. So it is a game of chess, and it is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these clowns, and that's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.